play to your conditions, play to your win conditions as such, and then we'll see now Ultra Prime, can they do anything? And same bans again coming out from both sides, both teams recognizing where they need to go for it. Very surprising to see Ultra Prime banning the way that Twist of Fate, something that Cryan has been so proficient on, and this time around though they ban away the Lee Sin, they do not want Tarzan back on as King of the Jungle.
Yeah, understandably, massive impact in that game, but the big takeaway here is that Caitlyn is now left open and available. We did see it first picked in the last series when it was left open, but it looks like instead they're going to take the Jinx once again. I felt like, is this LNG just going to answer with the Caitlyn? Makes sense in my mind. They don't necessarily need to pick it right now, but it looks like they are going to go for it.
Yeah, maybe look for it. They can go for it whenever they really like. They could wait till the last pick to kind of get something else sorted out for themselves. Maybe even an early jungle pick here just to secure it into their team and move on from there. I don't think there's much else they could really kind of expect from this particular side of the draft. So Jarvan is going to be locked in. That's going to be going over to Tarzan. So good engage, good early power as well in that Jarvan, and just very good at getting in and out of situations, especially if you want to be going for those early game dives that we saw them try and do in the game 1.
And I think as well, like a big thing for me is you pick Jarvan when you have immobile carries in the enemy team that you want to deal with, right? And you already know they have a Jinx. You already know that Thresh isn't available to get the Jinx out. So it makes sense, like in this situation. I actually thought they could have picked it last series. I feel like the Lee Sin wasn't necessarily the optimal pick, but it worked because Tarzan is very good at Lee Sin, and Lee Sin's just generally strong. But in terms of dealing with the Jinx, Jarvan does a great job. Ultra Prime need to pick up the Corki because Corki is a carry who can dash out of the Cataclysm. If you had Jarvan and Jinx, then it becomes so much easier for LNG. But I think LNG could be pretty happy, right? They have the Caitlyn. Something we see paired with the Caitlyn a lot is the Lux. If you Cataclysm and you Luxel on top, very difficult to deal with. So we could see that coming in the third pick. But now, though, Corki going to get taken. And we'll have to see whether they take a support for Ultra Prime or they take a jungler. To be honest, they're not going to take a support here because it'd be blind. I think they will just take a jungler. The exception is maybe they could take a Leona, but you might get countered by Morg. So probably going to go for something just to have Hacker in a comfortable position.
I'm seeing Corki basically 100% pick rate throughout the day, so it's a curious thing to see how much of a priority people are putting into this, and I think it comes down to just how versatile. Wait a minute, I'm going to come back to that in a second. Hacker going on to the Udyr.
Yeah, so something which has that early clear pressure. We saw a lot of Udyr, obviously back when it was already broken last year in spring, and then it sort of got nerfed, and obviously the jungle got changed quite significantly to where it's just not as significant. This is not going to hold well up in the late game, right? Udyr just doesn't serve powerfully there, but you can definitely get a speed, a clear advantage. And also, if you get up in Jarvan's face, you just absolutely massacre him in the 1v1. There's very little he can do other than run away, and you have the speed to chase him down. But with Udyr being taken, no Leona, easy Lux pickup for that Lux Caitlyn bot lane, and now LNG can honestly just ban away the Leona here, and there's a lot less threat towards this bot lane. They've already taken the Jace away from ZS. Ultra Prime are going to respond with the Camille away from Arley.
I will say, and this is not a good stat, I will say, for Ultra Prime fans out there, throughout his entire career, Hacker has had 13 professional games on Udyr. Guess how many of them he has won?
Hit me with it.
It's a 1 in 12. So he's one win, 12 losses, and they all came from last year, like you said, when Udyr was in the meta in 2021 spring and a little bit of 2021 summer. It isn't looking amazing for him, of course. You know, when you lose with a champion that's considered busted, I feel like that's kind of an unfortunate situation.
To be fair, it's kind of hard to have a good win rate when your team doesn't have a good win rate, right?
That is very true. That is very true. So we'll see how he's able to pilot the champion coming into this one here. But early indicators say, results-based analysis say it's not going to look amazing. Well, I would gladly love to be proven wrong with the last. It could be the last we see of this Udyr as well, because the rework's coming in this year. It could be the last time we see this man professionally as the Victor's locked in.
I like the Victor finding the Corki, and honestly, we've seen Victor actually have pressure versus Corki. Earlier this split, we actually saw Corey solo killed in this matchup, so has more pressure on the matchup, but obviously Victor scales incredibly well. Is still a bit of a range issue into the Corki Jinx, but I think it's fine here, right? You have the Caitlyn, you have the Lux, you have the Jarvan. If Jarvan gets a Cataclysm on the Jinx and Victor can, you know, ult or flash ult, really easy way to win a team fight off the back of that. I think LNG, I think the draft's a lot more favorable this game than it was last game, so they're looking to be in good stead.
Yeah, we're going to see what the final pick is. Could see Shousey back onto a hook champion like the Blitzcrank does. Give a lot of kill pressure. And yes, boom, love this. If you have something that's super oppressive in the early game like a Caitlyn Lux, one hook is all you need. One hook is all it takes. And then you're back in the game.
It's sort of like a double-edged sword though, right? Blitzcrank can be super impactful, but if you don't hit that grab, you are basically useless. Let's be real. So can be a little bit coin flippy. Fiora being threatened here for Arle, and it looks like he's going to lock it into the Gwen. So hoping to take that 1v1 and using that counter pick. It is a bit of a shouty pick for Arle, but overall, I think LNG a lot happy with their composition. There, there's elements of Ultra Prime, like the Udyr can potentially threaten the Jarvan, the Blitzcrank. If he finds momentum bot lane, get some kills, he can rotate around, threaten the Victor. But ultimately, I feel like LNG's composition is in a much more comfortable spot than even that composition game 1, right? So if they won game 1, I feel pretty good about their chances for game 2. It really comes down to Shousey. And in fairness, I did praise him in game 1 for his aggression, so we'll see what he's able to do.
Yeah, and for Alda as well, he's picking up that Fiora. Picked it 3 times at Worlds, including play-ins. Was a 100% win right there against the likes of Team Liquid, Gen G, Team Peace as well. But, we'll take the good with the bad. And really something that has been very successful for him, and that's the style that he loves to play, the split push, the Aurelias, the Camille's, you see so many bans thrown at him because he can just take over a game, and Fiora is a very similar style. So want to see what they're able to do. And someone like Doinby, who we've seen is so active at moving around the map, trying to make impactful roams, it's just a really good recipe for success for LNG if they can get it rolling.
That's the thing. I expect them to be able to. I really feel like the comp lends itself. So my question is, what can Hacker do on the Udyr, right? What can Bearman do to stop LNG? That's going to be my question. Because I really feel like both Blitzcrank and Udyr are very binary champions, right? And they either work or they don't. And we talked about these solo queue win rates comparison. Pretty LNG favor in that regard. And obviously, it's not the most meaningful thing, but I just think Kate Lux in particular is such a problem lane. And if your Blitzcrank isn't able to grab them, right, it's just going to be so hard.
Very, very difficult. I'm curious to see if we see Hacker go for maybe a sneaky early play. And they're getting the ward out of there straight away. So I actually have a feeling that LNG, if they're even slightly overextended, we could see a level 2 play bot side. Take Reg, go immediately bot, try and make something work for yourself, because like you say, this Caitlyn Lux is so oppressive. If you don't have an answer for it, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. ZS now sees that Ala has dropped down a little ward on the blues. They're trying to get perfect information of where's Hacker's trying to be. So that's going to be the big thing right now, is if they can get information of where Hacker's starting, they can just delete or mitigate a lot of his pressure early on.
We do see that Ignite has been picked up for ZS, but not for Arle, so a bit of an advantage in the 1v1. Did see Fiora taking Ignite occasionally, similar to like when Camille was all the time. You kind of needed Ignite to sort of win that 1v1, but obviously doesn't have as much safety as some of the other picks that just kind of give up having Flash. Now, it is a Guardian. Lux tend to see this whenever it's a sort of, when it's an all-in lane, you take Guardian. When it's a non-all-in lane, you can sort of take like Airy and have more constant pressure. I think not Airy, Comet is usually the typical one, but already Lumao can just apply that pressure, but does get grabbed here.
Yeah, they're going to actually flash forward. This is Elk trying to say, look, I can get the kill here. Flashing, gets the first blood onto the Shousey. It's an all-in lane. Yes, it's a super safe bot side, but Light and Elk are going toe-to-toe right now. Shousey will have the Time Warp Tonic to keep himself nicely topped up, but great start for Ultra Prime again in this bot side.
Oh, but Tarzan's coming. This is just a kill, 100%.
Yeah, this is just a kill. They're going to try and maybe trade it back, as I say that. Level 2 has been hit, and now you can see Elk trying to see if he can get a trade into on top of this. Oh, he predicted it! He gets the zap, and Tarzan flashes away. They will not give over the trade, so it's still a plus move here from Ultra Prime.
Oh my god, Elk. Oh, he's so good, man. That predict and Light falls for it. Beautiful. I was seeing Jarvan come in. I'm like, okay, Ultra Prime got an advantage bot, but Tarzan's going to come clean up. But now he's like just really ruined his pathing, and we're going to see more action.
More and more action. This is exactly okay. Never mind. I'm going to move back on to what we were talking about.
Nothing. But yeah, it's just Lumao's disrespectful on lane. And I can honestly be really critical of this. Like, why are you walking up in this situation? But It's a little bit later. Just Elk playing it perfectly. Hits the level 2 thanks to Shousey hitting the minion. Gets the autos in, and the like, man, it even puts a purple thing on the ground. You see it coming, right? You know where
I
it's
know.
aimed.
I think he was so. Oh, I'm gonna stop myself as Hacker and Luamara here. Doomby walking down as well. They're not gonna be able to get that steal. No one's taking this. Why is no one taking that? Okay, now they talk it. Now Hacker flashes away. Sorry, very confused for just a slight moment there, but. Yeah, I was going to go a little bit to Light's defense and say that he was so focused on the auto attacks that maybe he wasn't paying attention to where the Zap was and, you know, all that kind of jazz. At the end of the day, it still ends up being a trade, so you're not too unhappy with it from the side of Ultra Prime. And God, Summoner's absolutely everywhere. And this is why the Blitzcrank is so much fun to watch. It can create this kind of chaos in the early game, and that's what Ultra Prime are going to need if they want to try and take this game.
It makes sense, right? When things are in a situation like this, where you have these mobile carries, and you would typically lose in terms of lane pressure, Blitzcrank kind of turns that all on its head, because you land a grab as like almost a guaranteed all-in kill in most situations when you're playing against Caitlyn. So
Tarzan's here. It's a 3v3 in the bot side. They're gonna go straight. Yep. Tarzan's just like, I can't. I'm sorry. Bye. Just literally was decided. I am done here. There's nothing else for me to do. Crying. I was going to say, needs to be very, very careful. We're getting very used to... oh, he's probably dead here, actually, if he doesn't have a flash available to him. He probably should have it. Tarzan's going to walk in, knowing that he doesn't need to go too far for that. And these junglers are having to be so active in this early game, but it is actually the Udyr that's coming out on top. Tarzan is a little bit behind in farm, has got the kill behind as well, so needs to start kind of farming up those camps to really catch up to this Udyr.
Yeah, I mean, he really sacrificed his pathing to go clean up the bot lane mess. And then while Hacker's just clearing easily on the Udyr, and then it ends up backfiring because there's a 1-for-1 trade. And I respect Shousey just always looking for the windows to throw the grab, and he kind of has to be that way, right? One of the downsides is when your grab is on cooldown, you'll have pressure, but you need to be fishing because, you know, chances are you're going to miss a fair few when you're against an LPL bot lane. But the fact is, you land one, that's a kill. And both of them are still flashless, right? You land a grab on Luman, he's just going to go down. Elk follows up with a trap. It's easy picking.
Yeah, I think the best way to put it is you miss all the shots you don't take. So got to keep throwing them out, see if you can get anything working for you. You see Hacker now roaming in, seeing if he can maybe make something work for himself. Recognizes that he doesn't really need to stay much longer than intended. So bit of a better positive trade there for Doomby in the mid lane, as we can see crying, as we can see the Hex Flash coming out. So we're going to try and get on top of this one. There is the light binding, not going to land. He's trying to just play fancy feet with your feet and fancy no more. And it's almost like you just said, oh my God, he's going to be able to get out alive. Oh, they tried to donate it over to, oh dear. Ultra Prime, this is why this is a team game. There is no such thing as kill steals, there's just kill secures.
Yeah, and you know what's the critical thing here? Shousey had Ignite, right, and held it because he didn't think he needed it. And if he'd ignited there, the heal would have done nothing, wouldn't have been able to get away. Just a little bit disrespectful in that situation. Just confirm the kill, right? It's not kill steal, it's kill secure. That's what you need to remember.
Like, I straight up though, like if the support gets that, at least you get it, but they now haven't got anything else for that bot lane die, or, you know, it should have been a free kill. But anyway, I digress. It happens. You move on from an Ultra Prime, still looking to be very active in this early game. That is 700 gold lead in their favor, maybe about 500, 600 as we get the waves crashing into the top side. So we'll see what they're able to make work with it. And for them, it's going to be about early dragon seconds, I feel. They need to put pressure onto LNG by getting those early dragons going for them. Shousey will walk over a ward, now decides to take it, so recognizes that he's not going to be able to get the first kind of move in this mid lane.
Yeah, but clearing the vision, taking that first step, you clear the vision. Second step, you get a roam off. Like, now you have the Moby boots. I want to see Shousey moving around. You show up mid, if you grab the Goindy, he is just going to go down in most situations. Power Blitzcrank, so the more we see this Blitzcrank moving, the more positive I feel. Tarzan is trying to get some vision control, and we see a pretty heavy move towards the top side to get some vision control around this Herald. But don't think they're going to be able to do too much. Still 30 seconds away. They'll reset now, but it means with the scuttle, they'll know if anything goes down. Udyr obviously someone who clears very fast and can just go and pick up the Herald pretty comfortably if he wants to. Now, Shousey is alone, but will zone light back a bit.
Yeah, they don't know that. They don't know that he's alone. They could be an Udyr in there if they so choose. There is the Luminescent Singularity being thrown out to get a little bit of vision. Light does hit level 6, so does have the ace in the hole. But Elk just picking up a nice free plate for himself. Exactly what you want to see from your bot side. The support not getting any of the gold. All of that gold going over to the Elk on this Jinx. So looking to try and get up towards that Kraken Sarah. I actually wouldn't mind maybe if he went for a Gale Force just to get away from the light bindings or something like that. But we'll see what fill path he decides to go for.
Yeah, I mean, I think Gale Force makes a lot of sense in my mind, but I can understand the DPS from Kraken is pretty powerful from Jinx and the attack speed you get as well. But either way, we're seeing topside Herald being picked up by LNG, and Ultra Prime going to make a play on the boss side of the map. Flash is available to loom out, so not really going to catch him. But again, more damage to the tower going to be secured. But LNG making the right moves in this situation.
They steal the blue buff as well. They have a package here, so honestly, I don't know if this Caitlyn Lux can stay here. They need to leave now, and even then, I don't even think they're going to be able to get out alive. If Brian decided to go in with the package, it would have been pretty damn easy for him to be able to get it. So they do recognize that the Udyr is at the Gromp at the moment. The ward goes down, the ward gets cleared. They will start to get a little bit more pressure here. So what can you do now as LNG to respond to this? Where's the counterplay coming in as you get so many people piling in on the spot side?
Well, the thing is, they have to reset and answer the wave mid, right? After a time, the package is now gone and unavailable. It allows your bot lane to be in a bit more comfortable position. And you have the Herald, you can threaten, right? If you see a window, if you see an opportunity. Flash can be traded mid, but nothing more. Obviously, that means a little bit concerning. We do see Chelsea, who has his Flash available, show up mid. Maybe could be in an uncomfortable position. So I like this sort of ebb and flow of pressure from Ultra Prime. For now, LNG's bot lane, still rough, right? It's still so scary going up against that Blitzcrank. And the thing is, like, the whole point of this Lux is you're trying to apply that consistent pressure. And it's just not really being available. Because every time you step up, there's a threat of you potentially getting grabbed, potentially getting killed on the back of that.
Yeah, we are going to see a trade in the top side. Alo and ZS will trade off the ultimate, not gain anything. And the ignite, actually, from ZS. So really felt like he'd go for that all-in. What's been happening? LNG will take the first dragon. This is a very surprising objective for LNG to be able to take. Considering how many resources Ultra Prime put in bot side, this shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they had that window to take the dragon before. They took the blue instead. They had the package available. And one thing as well is you want to sync the package with the dragon timing. So there were a lot of reasons why I think they could just pick that one up easily, but they opted instead for the threat on the bot lane tower, the plates, and these are now being answered back, right? The resets came in, and now Light's getting a couple of plates here, getting a bunch of gold, and Tarzan's going to find a route in, has the Herald available as well, and probably wants to use it here to secure this tower. If Chelsea steps up too far forward, could get turned around on.
Yeah, they're trying to bait him. You can see him flashes in, the flash away, and now Tarzan can find himself a pretty easy kill. That's going to be like getting that kill donated over to him, and that's just a very, very smart macro play coming out from Tarzan. They even have Doomby here as well, should they want to try and go for Elk. They might just drop down the Rift Herald and go for it right now because they really want to put this bot lane down. Flash over, flag and drag over to the Cataclysm. The flash away, the ace in the hole, another kill for Light. He's back in the game with 3 kills now to his name. There is the Light binding. Nowhere for you to go. Luam now picks that one up. We're all the way back into LNG and the ascendancy in kills, even on the scoreboard, and there's just not a lot that Ultra Prime can do about it.
Yep, there is not much they can do, and with this extra influx of gold, you know, we saw the rough laning phase, but it's now 3-1 for Light. Gonna get all these plates on the first tower gold. It's gonna be a pretty fed Caitlyn. Now, so he's gonna try and find a window to join. Remember, flashless.
Flashless, can he land the Q? Yes, he does. They will get a bit of decent damage on top of him. Can they get the kill, though? The answer is yes, they can. Cryin will pick that one up, so a good response here from Ultra Prime.
Yeah, still finding the value of this Blitzcrank and Chelsea doing work, but ultimately the pressure fire in the lane really has kind of gone in the other direction. Yeah, I mean,
So
Light flashes away, but once the Blitzcrank is committed to flash, there's no way you get out. And then they managed to find the continued play, and Elk just trapped, right? You know, does manage to flash away, but then you're still taking the damage. Tarzan up in your face. There's no way you win that duel.
I will say it was pretty close for Light to actually get hooked there. It might have been a little bit worse for him, putting in the range of the Jinx, but didn't happen. And we see in the top side there, the Fiora and Gwen. It's actually Fiora coming out with about a 400 gold lead, and that's basically down to farm and plates. So doing a very decent job is Ala to get himself the advantage. And again, similar to game 1, we just don't really see much happening in the top side unless Doomby decides to roam up there. But this time around on the Victor, not really something he's been pushing towards doing. As we wait to see now first items being combed out. So we actually have the Gale Force here for Light. You still have the Kraken Slayer for the Jinx. I don't mind this, obviously. It's still fantastic damage. I like Gale Force because of the, what's the word I'm looking for? Skill expression you can get with it.
Yeah, the problem is, in this situation, is Gale Force can't get you out of Cataclysm, right?
That's fair. That's very fair.
There's a lot of things you can dodge away from, but maybe as a result of not being able to do that one, Kraken Slayer. And the thing is, it's not just the damage from the true damage you get from the Kraken Slayer. It's the attack speed and the mythic passive scales so well with things like Jinx, just because by the time you got a few items, you are getting a ton of attack speed. I believe it's 10% per legendary item you complete.
Roughly about that, as we see Elk finally getting the turret on bot side, gets full plate gold as well, so he's going to be coming back into this game a little bit. He's still about 500 gold behind, and Doomby.
I've seen this before.
I've seen this before, definitely. We got Hacker running in at him as well. He'll flash in, try to get the stun down. He will be able to get it. They will try and get that one over to Cryin, who ends up dying again. These donation kills are crippling Ultra Prime, and now you've got Lumao here with Light to try and just take down the rest of these kills. They will get the Gwen in. That's a fantastic Jink roster from downtown, though, to get these health bars low. It's all on ZS to try and kill off both of these people to make this worth for the side of Ultra Prime. Good side step, and Light just out of range of the snip, so not quite able to get taken down. At the end of it all, it's still a favorable trade in favor of LNG to go 4 for 2.
Yeah, now it's trying to find Tarzan, but isn't able to. It's so close. And here's the thing, right? You think about the massive influx of gold that Light was able to get. You think about the fact that he's 5-1. If Light was any weaker in this fight, they would have lost this a lot more decisively. And they would have seen potentially ZS able to clean up the end. It just gets a bit messy at this point because yes, it's a 2 vs 2, but Xiaoxi and Hacker just don't have that much damage between them. It's only when ZS turns up and this great Jinx rocket comes in that they're able to really find more momentum. But Light, it is so close down to the wire. The red buff making a big difference, but it's just very inch perfect, able to dodge away this final snip.
Oh, one more auto attack on that. It just goes down. Well, Xiaoxi died. We'll move on from that as he ends up probably went for a kill. Didn't end up getting it. And that should be the mid lane turret pretty much secured here. They are going to just fully commit to it. You have got the shielding from the Lux, so pretty easy for them to be able to pick that one up. And now 6-1-1 for Light. It was Tarzan in game 1. It is Light in game 2 who is just putting Ultra Prime to the sword.
Yeah, and you know, as much as we have some kills in favor of Ultra Prime, as much as we saw that strong early again with Xiaoxi's aggression, and I have to praise him once more despite the fact he just died, Xiaoxi has been really good at setting up plays and make them happen for Ultra Prime. Problem is though, LNG were able to find their way in this one. Tarzan had a really strong performance, and we already saw in game 1 that Ultra Prime struggled to win with a lead. Now they don't have a lead. I am really concerned. Arle is causing issues in the side lane. LNG are maintaining that momentum. Their comp is cohesive. It's looking a little bit desperate for Ultra Prime right now, and they need picks, I feel like, is the main thing. They need Xiaoxi to grab someone when they're isolated, take them out, and then that's the play.
Yeah, we see now it's just Elk getting caught out, almost dies as every single laser under the sun gets on top of him, and then Xiaoxi just says hello, and then he dies. So
yeah, that's not even like if Xiaoxi had gone for a grab and then it got caught out,
or like did something to defend his AD carry or something, you're like, okay, honorable death.
Yeah, I just, man, if it being like I'm going for a big play and I end up take down, I'm like, fair enough, Xiaoxi, fair enough.
Yeah,
but
you put respect on the name.
He just walked in front of the tower. I'm like, come on, man. I'm
just
trying
didn't see the trap that was between the tower and the wall.
I'm trying to say nice things about you. Make my job easy, please.
Yeah. No, that's the point. You say nice things, then we curse him forever. But speaking of cursing him forever, ZS now in a lot of trouble. Doomby going to be here now to try and put down the laser in the gravity field. ZS trying to see if he can trade this one back. Not going to be able to do it though, as we can see the Cataclysm going in on top of the Corki.
That is brutal.
Yeah, that is a brutal combination. Nowhere for him to go without his flash, and they're going to be able to pick up 2 tier 2s now. One in the mid lane, one in the bot side. I feel like this is just going to be a very easy game right now. Elk, maybe he split pushes all the way to the end, but I don't think he's going to get much more than just maybe another charge here from the Herald. Yep, they're even going to TP up top side to make sure they don't trade back into the tier 2.
Yeah, this is very crisp from LNG. Like, nice little no skill combo coming out from the bot lane and Tarzan. They all press R and it's like you can't miss. You literally cannot miss. So Really unfortunate for Cryan, and it's momentum that they found 5,000 gold lead at this point of the game. Pretty rough to face up against. And the thing is, every time you step up, Tarzan is ready to engage. And the fact that Cryan, you know, he'll flag and drag, force the Valkyrie, and then ult after you. The fact that, like, this is a mobile carry who's getting caught out. But in immobile carry, it's even worse. I mean, Zeta tries his best to win the 1v1 by keeping the last vital against the wall, but Doinby just, like, just makes it unfair.
Yeah, I don't think there's much else to really say about it other than try again next time, I guess.
Luma's going for the crown of the Shattered Queen. I honestly expect it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to do a lot. Let's see, Xiaoxi now nearly dead as he gets pretty much all ultimates on top of him. The ace in the hole was available. I'm sure he would have gotten that too. So now the last tier 2 in that top side is going to be taken. They get the flag and drag. They get the kill onto Hacker. Looks like he's going to go from 1-12 to 1-13 on this Udyr in his career, and it's all LNG. This is not even 20 minutes. There's not even a Baron to steal, Ox. There's nothing. Then what are you supposed to do?
I'm working on an answer, okay?
Yeah, I'll come back to you. Here we go, Cataclysm. Elk gets himself the flash out. They are already on to the inhibitor turret. There's some good damage. Elk has got himself a little bit more in the tank than they may have appreciated. They will back away. Yeah,
and that's the problem as well, is like they only really have a rocket grab and Hacker running at people. That's like their engage tools, which not exactly stellar. And that's the thing, is like, yes, Cryan and Elk are long ranged, but it's like I don't think LNG really are bothered, because how are you ever going to get in range of Victor or Caitlyn or Lux? Like, the Blitzcrank worked early, but now they're behind. Blitzcrank just suffers so much when he's behind, because oftentimes you're not in a position to hook comfortably, and on top of that, you have these scenarios where if you step forward, you just get the lead, or you grab like Tarzan, and then you end up losing off the back of that. I feel like, you know, unless you grab Doinby or Light, you're probably still going to lose the fight. Even if you grab Lumao, you'll just get engaged on and die.
Yeah, it's a rough setup right now for the side of Ultra Prime. Don't really have many options to go for. Don't really have many ways to see where they can go. You can just keep throwing out that final spark every single time, because oh my god, I didn't even notice his health bar. I just assumed it was just like a random kind of like, I just want to stop your backs, but no, he was actually going for a kill. So more and more pressure. They're gonna be able to pick up the dragon now in 30 seconds or less.
Yeah, you know, I talked about the range issue that Doinby might have on the Victor, and it's just like, it doesn't matter, because Light and Lumao are just firing from miles away. It's just completely irrelevant. They're just sniping.
And as well, it's a collector onto Light, so it's not even, like, arguably not exactly the greatest of, you know, setups for Light. But as I said, we're gonna see if they're gonna go for the package play. They are. Tarzan did flag and drag away though, put enough distance between him and the wall. Hacker and Cryan 100% come out of that much worse of that play. Now they're going to keep going on to it. There's the Cataclysm. The flash is going to be used to bring the Jarvan back out. Jarvan will die. It does go over to Xiaoxi. Not ideal distribution, but hey, a kill's a kill.
Yeah, kills a kid. We learned that lesson earlier, right? We learned that lesson very well. We ain't messing about. We ain't waiting to see who can grab the kill. We just take them when we can. And Tarzan a little bit overextended, but you saw, like, I don't know what the play initially was from Cryan and Hacker. I just didn't see how that worked. Fortunately, they mind controlled Tarzan into running into them. So they managed to get one, but it's just a kill, right? LNG still get the dragon. They're gonna have 3, 1 away from that soul. It is a cloud soul, not quite chem tech, but the movement speed they'll definitely appreciate when they are looking for these frequent engages. If they're able to secure that 1-3 in the bag now. Baron is up and available, and honestly, you know, if Ultra Prime want to go for a Baron flip, I would respect it, because at this point,
what else
I'm struggling. I'm struggling.
70 CS down and top side. You're 6 kill or 5 kills down on bot lane. Like, yes, your mid lane is having an all right game, but how do you come back into this? You kind of have to hope that you either get the Baron flip or you get enough time for this Jinx to get an IE, and then maybe with an Infinity Edge, Rapid Fire, and a Kraken Slayer, you could go for some kind of a miracle fight. But I just don't see it happening right now. Probably still about 1,000 gold away from Elk getting that particular item. And they can just straight up start this dragon. They even sweep out all the wards to make sure there's absolutely no way in hell they can even get a sneaky play on the backside. And I don't even know. The Tarzan has a force of nature. He's going to be tanky against the damage of the Gwen and the Corki as well. So Baron has been started. It's going to be a pretty easy setup here now for the side of LNG.
They're not
flip it,
really
though.
perfect traps, but they're going to make it difficult. Hacker's fishing. Does have flash to get over the wall.
They may look for it. They know exactly where he is, though, so they know exactly what they want to be trying to go for here. There is the final spark to try and keep away Crying. The Baron down to about 1,000 HP. There we go. It is going to be secured over there by LNG. However, Victor is dead. Doonby has fallen. They will trade that for the jungler right now. Never mind. The Jinx is dead. It's a double kill for Allah. It's a triple kill for Allah, and he's going to go hunting. He wants that pentakill. He wants the first pentakill of the 2022 split. I don't know if he's going to be able to get it, though, because they're all running real fast.
Yeah, a bit too far away now. It's going to have timed out. I think, honestly, LNG can just look for the end here if they really want to. At bare minimum, this mid inhibitor is going to go down, but it just feels like Ultra Prime kind of fallen over. They didn't even have a lead to give away in this game, but they are struggling at this point. So much damage coming out from the other side. They just don't have the real tools to engage, right? It was literally Hacker running forwards, and that's about it, right?
Yeah.
That was the game plan. And you see Crying, he's gone for the Corky build. I'm not sure I agree with it here, because you kind of need to shred through this front line. You need to help Jinx get resets. He's kind of just sitting back, firing rockets from a distance. I mean, we'll see how this play panned out. Hacker's trying to go for the steal, gets zoned off pretty heavily. We see Crying get chunked away. And then it's just like, Hacker's like, okay, I'll just run a Doinby. Right? And credit to him, they actually managed to take him out. But look at the return around. Look at just the sheer damage coming in. Like, Crying is sitting back, firing rockets, which is what Corky should do. But it's like, you're not really contributing.
Yeah, it's just bad after worst. It's not really doing a lot for them. They gotta try and find something. They did kill off a Baron buff off of Doonby, so, you know, positives in that regard, but 25 minutes are just shy of it. It is a 10,000 gold lead, 7 turrets to 2. They're one dragon away for LNG to get themselves the Cloud Soul, which honestly just does them so much. It's not praised a lot, but when you have things like a Fiora and a Jarvan, pretty damn well to set you up for different ganks to get that extra burst of movement speed. So we'll see what they want to go for. They got Fiora on the top side. Allah has got himself the TP. He's going to use it straight away to try and buff up that minion, make sure it cannot die. That's going to be the tower broken. That's going to be the second inhibitor falling, and there's just only so much you can do. Ultra Prime watching as the rest of the base just falls apart.
And Hacker once again running, but he's going to get turned around on.
He's going to get turned around on straight away. They can just do so much on this. Fiora will die. There's a good Cataclysm, and that's going to be the Jarvan falling as well. It's a 4v2, and there's an Infinity Edge on this Elk. Elk has got some decent damage, but Elk cannot survive. He forgot where Doonby was in his positioning. There's the ace in the hole. Oh, nicely done there by Doonby. It's just the Gwen. It's just the lonely ZS to try and defend this one here. I don't think they can do it. I think it's going to be LNG starting off their campaign of the LPL Spring 2022 split with a 2-0 win over Ultra Prime.
Yep, and we'll see that will kill them out again. But it doesn't matter, the game is over, and it's kind of the expectation, right? I like the composition coming out from LNG more than their game 1 composition. On top of that, they had that early lead. They were able to find, yes, there was a bit of messiness in the bot lane with the Blitzcrank, but eventually they got that decisive advantage thanks to Tarzan playing around bot. And considering they won game 1, despite the fact they were massively behind, when they're ahead, I just had limited hopes for Ultra Prime.
Yeah, there was only so much they could do in that second game. I feel like this could have been a 3-game series had they been able to work out that first game, but wasn't to be. And LNG started their campaign off exactly how they wanted to. They're now 2-0. Very nice setup there for them. And honestly, it's refreshing to see. I feel like this team, there was a couple of question marks over how they would come together with Lumao and Doonby adding into the squad. I think a lot of people are asking if